over 20 times. 20. 4 times in the past year, apparently. So she's here to tell you a little bit more about that. Please welcome Miss Brianna Salvatore to the podium.
Ever since I was a little girl, I had a love for Disney. I would dress up in my favorite princess dresses and dance around the house pretending it was my very own castle. Now, for many little girls, this dream of becoming a Disney princess usually fades away as they get older, but not for me. When I began brainstorming ideas for my senior project, I thought about all the different things I enjoyed doing and the different dreams I had. My inner child suddenly started screaming at me, "Become a princess! Become a princess!" At first, I was hesitant to go along with this idea because I wasn't really sure what to do with it. What was I going to tell Mr. Boyce? Yes, for my senior project, I want to play dress up. Sounded kind of silly. However, I tried to incorporate this idea of dressing up when I thought about other ideas for my project. I could actually go audition to become a Disney princess. No, that wouldn't work. I thought back to a video I saw on Facebook a few months ago. It was of these 2 girls about my age who started dressing up as Anna and Elsa and visiting children's hospitals. I remembered watching the video and thinking how great this was. These girls were living my childhood dream. That's when a light bulb went on in my head. Why don't I dress up as a princess and visit hospitals too? I love working with kids, and sometimes a visit from a favorite character can be exactly what a child needs to brighten their day. That was it. I'd come up with my plan. Now I just had to figure out how to execute it. During this time, I was still looking for a mentor. Now that I knew what my project was going to be, I could now consider what I needed in a mentor. I knew I wanted to do my project at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, but I also knew that it would be difficult to convince them to let me volunteer. I needed a mentor with some sort of connection to the hospital. Well, I racked my brain and no one was coming to mind. So I went to Jennifer Allen, and she gave me the name of Mr. Jeff Lights, who just so happens to work at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I was very eager to meet with him, and I really hoped that he would like to be my mentor. We set up a date to meet, and I came knowing exactly what I needed. I tend to participate in a lot here at the Academy, so I knew with my busy schedule, I might not always be able to meet in person. Fortunately, Mr. Jeff Lights understood this because he was in a very similar situation. After discussing my project, we signed some papers, and then it became official. Great! Once I had my mentor, I could finally start transforming myself into a princess. Well, unfortunately, that idea got dethroned. In fact, the path I thought my project was on took a couple of unexpected turns. Not only did I hit a couple forks in the road, I ended up on a completely different route. One of the first problems I encountered was location. As I had predicted earlier, the hospital I intended on visiting had really strict policies that in the end I just couldn't do my project there. All right, that's fine. I can work with this. It was a problem that could easily be solved, and thank goodness for Mr. Lights because he is the one who actually solved it. He contacted someone he knew at the Nemours Alfred I. DuPont Hospital for Children, and they said I could do my project there. I'm now back on track. I continued to busy myself by spending hours of class time looking at pretty dresses, hair and makeup tutorials, finding volunteers to dress up with me, as well as planning my service piece. I was organizing an art supply drive for the hospital. I thought craft supplies would be a great gift to give the hospital because, personally, I've always found crafting very therapeutic. I like creating things and making things with my hands, and I figured this could be something that could last the kids over a long period of time. I'd hung up flyers, made an announcement, and because I didn't trust a group of half-asleep teenagers to remember what I was telling them, I contacted Dawn Wadsworth, who is the head of the Parents Association here at A&C, and she helped me spread the word out to the parents of the school. I had asked for any supplies, whether it be paper, glue, pencils, or crayons. I wasn't expecting to receive a lot, but I ended up receiving a large amount, and I was thrilled. The plan was to go visit the kids as Disney princesses and bring along the supplies as a gift. But my plan was altered a little bit when I found out the hospital wasn't exactly expecting us to dress up. At first I was confused because I thought I had made the vision for my project very clear. But I realized, maybe since I was so focused on getting started, that perhaps I had failed to communicate clearly with the hospital. I tried to explain the situation, but unfortunately, since neither me or my volunteers were professionals, we couldn't actually dress up. Okay, so now what? I had been preparing all year to fulfill my childhood dream of dressing up as a princess, and now it was shattered. I was at a loss for what to do. So I took a step back and I thought about alternative ideas on how to turn my project around. Because I had already collected art supplies for my drive, I thought maybe we could do Disney crafts instead. I loved crafting and I loved Disney. Good idea, Brianna. So my magical project took a new direction, which meant I needed to start planning. I had to find crafts that weren't hard to execute and that all ages could enjoy doing. I had asked the hospital what to expect when it came to the ages of the children, but they couldn't really give me a definite answer. They said that the ages would range from 5 to 15. I was afraid that the 15-year-olds might think my Disney crafts were stupid or boring. You know, teenagers. I also didn't know how many kids were actually going to be there, which made it difficult when buying the supplies. I was afraid I didn't have enough markers or that there wasn't enough color variety with the felt that I had. But looking back on it now, I think I might have gone a little overboard because we had plenty of supplies, more than enough actually. The day had come to finally do my project. I got all my crafts together and we headed down to Delaware with Brielle Williams, Rena Sinisfet, and Mr. Lights. Someone from the hospital came to meet us and took us to the recreation room, where we would be leading the crafts. I was expecting it to be filled with kids, but there were only 3. And their ages ranged from 13 to 15 years old. So not exactly what I was expecting it to be, but I was determined to make the most of it. I asked them if they wanted to make things with me, and they said sure. After that, the 2 hours flew by quickly. I felt like I was really getting to connect with these kids, and I felt so useful knowing I was there for them to talk to and hang out with. I felt like I created this space for them to be able to escape the medical world, so to speak, and just relax. It was such an enjoyable experience, and it made my day better, and I hope it made theirs as well. This experience has left me with valuable skills on how to turn any situation around when things don't go as planned. So maybe I didn't get to live my dream of being a Disney princess, but there's still time for that. What I did get to do, however, was help children who needed cheering up. And that alone is enough to fill your heart with joy. And in the end, that's what my project was really about. Not dressing up, not crafting. It was about finding a way to bring happiness to others. Thank you. Any questions? Yes? Yeah, somewhere around there. Oh, my favorite ride. Jeez. I guess Space Mountain. I really like that. It depends what park we're talking about. Yes.
What did you do with all the extra crafts?
I ended up just donating anything that was left over to the hospital. So it just joined the supplies that were donated. Yes.
So, it seems, I'm sure it struck you how difficult it is when you have a desire to volunteer. It's not always as easy as you think. Has that in any way altered plans for the future? What's up next for you?
Well, what's up next for the future? Would this alter anything? I don't think so. It would alter anything. I plan on going to college in Florida, and I'm going to be majoring in communications to become an event planner. But I do hope to maybe get a job at Disney, so we'll see how that goes. Yes.
It sounds, man, you ran up against a lot of obstacles, and I really appreciate your ability to process that and be positive about what's in front of us. What, if you could have changed something about how you began or were in the middle of all of this, what do you think, what might you have done differently looking back?
If I was to do something differently, I think I would just try to communicate more clearly what my plan was, because I think that was the problem, was I just rushed kind of into it, and I just got so excited to start like planning and doing things that I didn't make it clear, and then we were on different pages, so, but it worked out in the end. Yes. Thank you. What did I learn from the kids? Well, actually talking to them, they were pretty upbeat and happy, and I just had a great time talking to them. And so I guess keeping a positive attitude about everything would be something I learned from them. Yes.
What did you feel like was the biggest stretch for you?
The biggest stretch, I guess it would have to be coming up with a way to turn the situations that didn't go as planned around.
All right, well, that is it for the night and for the year. So thank you all for your support, and thank you all for coming.